Building a house sounds exciting until one small decision turns into a very expensive lesson. The wrong lot, the wrong layout, the wrong contractor, or one innocent little upgrade can quietly add thousands to the final cost. So today, we're going through 10 things you'll want to think about before building your home. And yes, countertops can wait. Bernard, take it away.
Let's start with the lot. A lot of people fall in love with a house design and assume they can place it anywhere, but the truth is, the property you build on can have just as much impact on your experience as the house itself. I've seen homeowners spend months perfecting a floor plan only to discover the lot creates unexpected challenges. Maybe the terrain isn't ideal. Maybe access is more difficult than expected. Maybe the property simply doesn't fit the vision they originally had. Across the United States, there are homeowners who would gladly redesign parts of their house if it meant they could change the lot they built on. The house can be modified. The land usually can't. That's why choosing the right lot deserves as much attention as choosing the right floor plan.
Okay, you've got the lot. The grass is green, the sky is blue, the birds are singing, everything looks perfect. And let's now wait until it rains.
Drainage is one of those things people rarely think about until it becomes a problem. On a beautiful sunny day, almost any piece of land can look attractive. But what happens after a major storm? Depending on where you're building in America, whether that's Florida, Texas, Tennessee, or somewhere else entirely, water can become a major factor. Pay attention to where water flows. Pay attention to low areas. Pay attention to spots that remain wet longer than others. Good drainage isn't exciting. Nobody posts pictures of it online, but it's one of those things you'll appreciate every single year you own the home.
Speaking of things people regret, let's talk about the mistake that sounds impossible at first. Building too much house. Because when you're planning a dream home, it's very easy to say, let's just add a little more space, a bigger living room, an extra bedroom, a bonus room, maybe a garage big enough to park a spaceship.
Wow!
But every extra square foot has a price tag. Bernard, explain this one.
Most people worry about building too small. Far fewer worry about building too large. But larger isn't always better. Every additional room adds cost. Every additional square foot adds cost. And those costs don't end when construction is complete. You still have to furnish it, maintain it, heat it, cool it, clean it. Many homeowners eventually discover there are rooms they barely use. The goal shouldn't be to build the biggest house your budget can handle. The goal should be to build the right house for your lifestyle. A well-designed home often feels larger than a poorly designed one with significantly more square footage.
Next up is the part where a lot of people get surprised. Not by the house, by everything around the house. Because the price of building is one thing, but then come the permits, the driveway, the landscaping, the utilities, the appliances, the blinds, and somehow a mailbox that costs more than it should. Little by little, the main budget starts getting surrounded by tiny budget ninjas. Bernard, let's break down the hidden costs.
One of the biggest mistakes people make is underestimating hidden costs. Most people focus on the construction price. That's understandable. It's usually the largest number they'll see, but then the other expenses start showing up. Small upgrades and dozens of other expenses that seem minor individually but add up surprisingly fast. Many homeowners across the country discover these costs later than they would have liked. Leaving room in your budget for unexpected expenses is one of the smartest decisions you can make.
Now let's talk about something everyone loves, saving money. And to be fair, there's nothing wrong with that. Building a house isn't exactly known for being a budget-friendly hobby. So naturally, when people start collecting estimates and comparing prices, it's tempting to look at the lowest number and think, well, that seems easy enough. Problem solved. Right? Except sometimes that great deal has a funny way of becoming a very expensive story later. Because in home building, the cheapest option and the best value aren't always the same thing. In fact, some homeowners end up paying twice. once to save money, and once to fix what that money-saving decision created. Bernard, let's talk about choosing the cheapest contractor.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. Choosing the cheapest contractor isn't always the bargain it appears to be. Price matters, of course it does, but it shouldn't be the only factor. Communication matters, reliability matters, organization matters. Building a home involves countless moving parts and decisions. The people helping manage that process can have a major impact on the overall experience. The cheapest estimate and the best value aren't always the same thing. And, understanding that there's the difference can save a lot of stress.
Hold on, Bernard. Was that a little stutter there? I think the topic of cheap contractors almost got to him, and honestly, I get it. That's one of those mistakes that sounds smart right up until it isn't. But let's move on, because our next mistake is a little sneakier. Some floor plans look absolutely incredible until you actually have to live in them.
Floor plan decisions affect your daily life more than almost anything else. Think about your routines. Think about how people move through the home. Think about storage. Think about convenience. The distance between rooms may seem insignificant during planning, but after years of living there, those small details become much more noticeable. Many of the most comfortable homes aren't necessarily the largest or most expensive. They're simply designed in a way that makes everyday life easier.
Now here's something nobody likes thinking about. The future, which is understandable because the future has a very annoying habit of not asking for permission before changing your plans. Today, the house might feel perfect, but 5 years from now, you might need a home office, an extra bedroom, more storage, or space for family you definitely said would only stay for a few weeks. Bernard, what's the smart way to think about this?
When designing a house, it's easy to focus entirely on your current situation. But homes often last much longer than expected. Families grow, careers change, children move out and sometimes move back in. People begin working remotely, life evolves. Thinking ahead doesn't mean predicting the future. It simply means creating flexibility whenever possible. The future you will probably appreciate it.
Let's talk upgrades, because this is usually where people start saying things like, well, while we're at it, and those 4 words can get expensive fast.
Not every upgrade delivers the same value. Some improve everyday life. Others simply look impressive during a showroom visit. Many homeowners later say they wish they had invested more in practical features and less in decorative upgrades. Things like storage, lighting, energy efficiency, and quality materials in high-use areas tend to provide value year after year. Whenever you're considering an upgrade, ask yourself one question: will this improve daily life? If the answer is yes, it's probably worth serious consideration.
Almost done! But before we finish, let's talk about something people sometimes view as just another box to check: inspections.
Skipping inspections can be a costly mistake. Building a home involves many stages and many people. Inspections provide an opportunity to identify concerns before they become larger issues. They're not about expecting problems. They're about verifying that everything is moving in the right direction. And when you're making one of the biggest investments of your life, a little extra peace of mind can go a long way.
And finally, the mistake that quietly causes more problems than almost all the others combined: rushing.
Building a house is exciting. That's exactly why people rush. They want to see progress. They want construction to begin. They want to move in. But the planning stage is where some of the most important decisions happen. This is the time to ask questions, review plans, think through daily routines, compare options, double-check details. A few extra weeks spent planning can potentially save months of frustration later. And that's a trade most homeowners would happily take.
So, if there's one thing to take away from all of this, it's that building a great house isn't just about what gets built. It's about the decisions that happen before the building even starts. The lot, the layout, the budget, the contractor, the little choices that don't seem like a big deal at the time. Because more often than not, the biggest mistakes aren't made with a hammer. They're made with a rushed decision. Take your time, plan ahead, and the future you will probably be glad you did. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Oh, and don't forget to like and subscribe. All right, see you next time.